Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CSTV. I'm your host, Kathleen. For the new members, kindly remember to subscribe. Now, today, the striker leads us to the dramatic arrest of comedian or the president of comedy in Kenya, Mr. Eric Omondi. Now, there's a video going viral showing Eric being arrested on his way to Parliament buildings in Nairobi. And for me, what caught my attention is not what Eric wanted to do in Parliament or what the demonstration was all about, but it is the brutality and the violence with which that arrest was conducted. So in this video, what actually one can be able to see is, number one, there is manhandling of Eric as a person who is supposed to be arrested. There are so many police officers there. There are about 10 police officers who are actually handling one person who is not even armed. And in this arrest, you see Eric being thrown from one point to another. One could say that the problem here is two-way. Number one, when Eric is being arrested, actually, instead of entering the police vehicle, he jumps over to the upper side of the vehicle, and he is heard telling the police officers, "Pit me, nipige." You see, for me, people could say that Eric is wrong, but sometimes it shows an helpless individual who the only defense mechanism he has is to seek for attention from the public, because you fear, what if I enter in this vehicle? What could actually happen if this is how I've been manhandled to the point of this vehicle in the presence of the people? What could happen when I enter this vehicle and there are no people inside to see what is actually happening? On the other side is how Eric Omondi is removed from the upper part of that particular police Land Cruiser and thrown into the ground. You see, that is very detrimental. It can hurt somebody, it can injure somebody. And I don't see Eric as that person who, with a lot of physical strength, that could actually require all those police officers surrounding that particular area in terms of his arrest. So for me, what actually comes into my mind, or what actually caught my eyes, is that we are still struggling with police brutality in this particular country, and arrests are not professionally carried out. I even saw tear gases being thrown around, but I didn't see a crowd of people maybe who were unruly. Perhaps the police officers were fearing that Eric, being a very prominent person in terms of the comedy industry in the country, the youths could, or the people around him could actually start demonstrations and so forth. But I didn't see the throwing of those cans necessary at that particular time. So for me, it is a call again to the police department of this particular country that yes, we have been given the mandate to maintain law and order, but the question is, how do we maintain this law and order? Are we actually increasing the mistrust between the police and the citizenry, or actually we are working to reduce this mistrust? What happened to Eric Omondi can happen to any youth in this particular country. It's not something that we should just laugh and say, oh, Eric has been arrested. No, actually the brutality that was exhibited in that arrest it shows why we have mistrust between the youths of this country and the police in this particular country. And it also tells you that sometimes these arrests are never going to stop insecurity in this country. Because if this is how we arrest individuals, our rehabilitation system itself already shows gaps that only treat a suspected individual who has not even been presented before the court as as a person who's supposed to be treated with violence. So for me, it is something that we should actually have an honest conversation. And perhaps this is one of the major reforms that we are supposed to have in the police service, that how do the police handle the common citizenry? When you go to arrest somebody, come with an arrest warrant, show that this person is supposed to be arrested, and handle people in the humane way. I believe that if the police officers never came in those large numbers, and when you see police officers turned in uniforms and in their weapons coming to you, you will not just sit down and say, let me follow them, because what are they doing with all these weapons and all of them coming for one person? I believe that if they came in a very friendly way, maybe omondi could have cooperated. But I do believe that both of us have the responsibility that is the public and the police officers, to ensure that police brutality comes to an end. But more importantly, it has to start from the police service, within the police service itself, because how officers are handling individuals outside there, honestly, does not portray a sense of human dignity to the citizenry of Kenya. That is the end of our striker today. We meet next when we'll be looking at our developing stories. We have a pump blast in Uganda. So later on, I will be talking about the Uganda pump blast. So stay tuned and remember to subscribe. Thank you.